Hello and welcome to our video on slope. In this video I'm going to explain two different ways to find slope that we will practice further in class. The first way first of all, let's define slope. Slope is the measure of the steepness of a line. And so basically we could look at this line and we could figure out slope from it, and that's what we're going to do. That's one of the ways we're going to do this. So the two ways to find slope is to create a graph of the line segment and find the rise and the run of the graph and write it as a fraction. So slope is equal to rise over run. Now what I want to point out is the rise is the change in y values over the change in x values. And so that's what we're talking about, rise and run. And so when we do that, and that's the way most people remember it, so there is a slope equation that can be used. And remember, y values, the rise would be the change in rise. So we have one y value in an ordered pair minus another y value in an ordered pair over the x value minus the other x value in the ordered pair. And there's our rise. This is the rise on top over the run. So they're basically doing the same thing. One is more drawing a graph and counting, and this is just using the equation. Both are effective. It just depends on which one you like best. So I'm not going to sway you one way or the other. So what I'm going to do here is, in my example today, is I want to find the slope of a line segment with the given endpoints. And so first thing I'm going to do is plot those points. So A is 3 over, 1, 2, 3 over, and 1 up. So there's my A value. And my B value is 7 over, so 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 over, and 6 up. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So there is B. So method 1 says, let's graph this line. So that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to get a nice little line here from point A to point B. There's my nice line. And so now, basically, I need to find the change in y over the change in x, which is my rise over my run. And so remember, the rise is from the a value up to the b value. So I'll draw this little green line here. There's my change in y. And so if I look, just counting, there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So my rise, and since it's going up from the a value to the b value, from the first point to the second point, remember, we're going to read this like a sentence, so we're always going to go left to right. And so since this is going up from left to right, then the rise is a positive 5. The run is going across this way. It is the change in x value. And so with my change in x value, you can see that if I count it, this is the run down here. It is 1, 2, 3, 4. So my run is 4. And with method 1, we said slope was found by doing rise over run. And so I would write my final answer. My slope of this line is going to be 5 over 4. Now that's an okay way of doing it. It takes a little longer than than method 2, but that method is fine. And if you want to graph all of them out, that's great. So here's my answer. Put a little smiley face. So then, for method number 2, this is just going to be taking the ordered pairs. I don't have to sketch anything. I don't even have to know what the line looks like. I can just take the ordered pairs and subtract them from each other. Well, I need to know a couple things. I need to know what is y and what is y1 and what is x and what is x1. Well, remember that the notation, this little sub-notation down here, is just to differentiate that it's not the exact same x value or the exact same y value from this first one. And so they're basically telling you, okay, we're going to use y values, but they're different ones. They're one from each ordered pair. So and it doesn't really matter, and you don't get caught up on this. Just know that my y values are the second ones. So these are my y values. I'll circle those guys in red, and it doesn't matter which one is y1 and which one is x1, or which one is y1 and which one is y. So to find my slope, I am just going to subtract the y values, and I always say with the y values, pick the one that makes the most sense. Which would be better to subtract from one another? Is it better to subtract 6 from 1, or is it better to subtract 1 from 6? I like subtracting 1 from 6, so I'm going to do 6 minus 1. Now you got to be very careful on this one, because now that I chose this to be my y value and this to be my y1, these guys, the x values and the x1 values, have to follow the same. So that means 7, which actually I'm going to change the color here. 7 7 is going to be my x value, and 3 will be my x1. So when I write this, it's going to be 7 take away 3. Now, one thing I always tell my students is that be very careful on these, because if you mix up, like if I would have done 3 minus 7 and switched them around because I was being careless, I'm going to get the wrong sign on my slope, which means the line's going the wrong direction. The other thing is, what I tell people to look at is notice that the 6 and the 7, which is this ordered pair, are stacked on top of each other. Notice that the other ordered pair, 1 and 3, are also stacked on top of each other. If they're stacked vertically, then the one ordered pair vertically with a subtract sign between them, then you'll be okay. And so you'll get the right sign every time. So when I simplify this, 6 minus 1 is 5, and 7 take away 3 is 4. Same slope as I had before. Same slope as I had before, but it just depends on how you want to go about finding them.